What's up, guys? I know you're being oversaturated with CM Punk content in the pro wrestling world, but it is justified. It's a massive story and a monumental return, and it did give WWE the pulse that it has so desperately needed for the longest time. I'm not a CM Punk fan per se, but even I can feel the sense of excitement and enthusiasm in the pro wrestling world, and I'm here for it. So if there can be good business being conducted and the fans win in this situation, and it leads to some really good stories and matches to culminate those stories, man, that's what we've been asking for. And Monday Night Raw became a little bit more, you're looking forward to it a little bit more, right? For the longest time, you were like, oh no, it's Raw. You're tuning in out of habit and hope, right? Habit because you've been watching since you were a little kid, more than likely, and hoping that Raw is good finally, right? So we tune in every Monday out of habit and hope, a lot of us fans. And unfortunately, it's never truly exciting. It's not that good, if even good. But now there's almost like a sense of, man, can't wait to see what happens on Raw. So that's what I mean by I'm here for it, man. And I've said for the longest time, CM Punk, whether I'm a fan of Punk or not, doesn't even matter. CM Punk needs to be in a place like WWE. It just was never going to work with AEW. It's just not the right fit. WWE, it's a structure that CM Punk, even though he's had problems with that structure in the past, this is the best suitable option for Punk. And I do believe if done correctly, this could be major business. But in all of that said, because you are being oversaturated with so much Punk talk, I assure you the focal point of this upload will not just be about Punk. It's actually about a babyface issue in WWE. Is this a good thing? Or is WWE about to face a problem with too many faces? And Raw heavy with those faces as well. So that's what I really want to talk about, right? Kind of shift gears away from just CM Punk, because everything you're going to see, every hour there's new stories coming out, right? So I'll put a bow on the CM Punk talk for right now. Every hour it seems to be a new report that's contradicting the report before it. Like we're hearing now that 10 days ago from some of these reports, 10 days ago, talk started. Then Meltzy's like, well, it was a week ago. Or maybe it was Meltzy who said 10 days ago, and somebody else just said it was a week ago. I think Fightful said it was a week ago, so it's 7 days ago. Then we're hearing, first report we got this morning was earlier in the afternoon, hours before Survivor Series. The I's got dotted and the T's got crossed. The deal was official hours before Survivor Series. Then you got Paul Levesque McMahon saying, listen, it wasn't until everything died down and everybody finally stopped with the CM Punk talk. That's when we got lightning in a bottle. And that's really when the talks picked up. So that was only a few days ago. That's less than 7. So the point is, everybody, even Paul Levesque McMahon, his words is contradicting what other reports are saying. I think Levesque McMahon would know when he was talking with Punk. Point is, everybody is just kind of contradicting. Everybody's trying to get the story. Everybody's trying to get their content out there. So their report will be front and center on the headlines. But if it's not accurate, we all found that out Saturday, right? Because all of us insiders, and to our credit, it's the best knowledge we had. It was pretty much confirmed. BC likes to say 99.99% like a Clorox wipe, because in pro wrestling, you literally never say never. But I was pretty comfortable confirming that, no, there was no Punk on Saturday, just like most insiders, because that's the best knowledge we had. But if we haven't learned anything from that, it's just stop. Unless you have the actual knowledge from one of these participants involved, stop with the reports. Let's wait. Let's see. And that's the approach BC is going to take, because Everybody is now stepping on each other's toes. Everybody's report is just trying to go over the other person's report. It's all contradicting. We don't know when they started talking with one another, other than what Levesque said, which was just a few days ago. Judging by what he said, that would be the timeline. He said it wasn't until after the speculation and all of that died down. Well, that was just within the last week. Not even a week ago. So you have that. And then you have other reports that are contradicting one another, right? Like the report that says a lot of the participants in War Game, not all of them, but the report says a lot of the participants in War Games were privy to the information right before they stepped out for the match. So like two names was like Drew McIntyre and Sethington Rollins, I believe, was two names that knew about Punk before they went out for the match, right? That's what a report says. Other reports saying it wasn't everybody. Then there's reports saying nobody knew. This was literally just everybody caught off guard. They decided to put Punk out there after the show, but while the show was on. So they put up the graphic, faces hold their hands up, and that's why you saw Corey Graves, Michael Cole, referees, kind of just sitting with Sethington Rollins. Like Rollins was literally really pissed off. And then you have the report saying it's 100% a work. Again, absolutely possible. But nobody has concrete factual information on this. I'm trying to I'm trying to confirm these reputable reports, but I just can't find any way to do such. So, you know, if you look at it, and again, I assure you guys, the focal point will be on the babyface situation in WWE, but I'm just trying to put a bow on this CM Punk talk because so much is coming out every hour, and I know you guys are interested in BC's thoughts on it. Well, here it is. If this is a total work, on one hand, it's brilliant, right? I mean, to have Corey Graves and Michael Cole just calming him down while Punk does his thing on the stage, right? And Sethington is flipping him off and yelling, fuck off, fuck you, come here, motherfucker. Beautiful. Beautiful. On the other hand, it doesn't make sense because Judgment Day was just kind of sitting and standing with all the faces that they just went to war with. So that doesn't make sense. Everybody literally, I can speak, literally and legitimately look shocked. Now you say, well, BC, that's the point. That's the work. That's how you get worked. I get that, but it doesn't make it's as it would be as dumb as like Brock Lesnar. That's right. How's that for a sophisticated word? It would be as dumb as Brock Lesnar and Cody Rhodes having their whole summer long feud, even though there was never a reason for their story or feud. But Brock kept breaking Cody's arm, right, or attempting to. Did at one point. He had the cast on and a couple times. Then he re-injured it, re-broke it. So the whole summer, Cody's arm is basically being broken or trying to be broke by Brock. And then the final match, I think it was SummerSlam, one of those pay-per-views at the end of the summer, and Brock just hugs Cody. And you say, well, Brock went into business for himself, right? Paul Levesque McMahon admitted that. He was on headset and he was like, what is Brock doing? And that's what Brock does. So on one hand, it's like, cool, he broke character. That's fun, BC. But it doesn't make sense. And Cody just hugs him. But this dude broke your arm all summer and you're just hugging him. Oh, now we respect each other. It was weird. It was dumb. But this is one of those situations where you just went to war. It's not just a wrestling match. It's War Games. And all of a sudden, Judgment Day is kind of standing, Orton's in there with Damian. Rhea is basically sitting next to Sethington. So while Sethington is flipping off Punk, Rhea flipped off Punk too, by the way. Rhea Ripley's flipping him off. It was just weird because they all found common ground in disliking one person, CM Punk. So my point is, if this is a story straight out, is the storyline that the whole locker room is not happy with Punk? Is that the storyline? Because that's what you told us. If Seth was in full character while he's flipping Punk off, and it's for story and we're being worked, then was Judgment Day as well. And they're all flipping Punk off. People saying like, oh, Orton's good with Punk, and he is, and they may have had a little bit of fun back and forth, but Orton was out there. He sat down in a chair and pointed to his thing like clobbering time, like, dude, we got to hit the showers. So he was screwing with Punk too. Looked like he wasn't too happy. McIntyre left beforehand. He was pissed off already. Was he privy to the Punk news and he was not happy? Then we're hearing he may have been injured or there may have been a botch and he was not happy about it. So we still don't know why Drew took off and stormed out of the locker room and out of the arena is the latest report we got. So Drew McIntyre wasn't happy at all. But Judgment Day, along with the faces, they didn't seem happy. Corey Graves, everybody's trying to just calm down with Seth. They weren't even holding him back, really. Refs did at first, but then they just kind of sat with Seth. I don't know if you guys saw the video. There were several videos where Seth was just sitting on the steps waiting for Punk just to leave. And he was just sitting patiently. And Corey and Michael are just like, you're doing good, man. You're doing good. If this is a straight work, absolutely could be, by the way. It was so well done. But it also just doesn't make sense in a grand aspect, too, unless you're doing the whole locker room doesn't like Punk story. Because everybody after War was just standing together, flipping him off and being pissed off. So this was this actual legit reaction. Like, dude, we just went to war and you just overshadowed us. Because they knew that was going to be the headlines, right? Because CM Punk definitely overshadowed the Randy Orton return, overshadowed anything that happened in that match, overshadowed the entire event. So they could legitimately just have been pissed off. Or it's a work and Punk, they're going to play the storyline where Punk, just the locker room doesn't trust him, doesn't like him. So you're basically taking the Jey Uso storyline from Monday Night Raw when he switched over and a lot of people just didn't trust Jey Uso. You're basically just taking that, right? And you're inserting a much more polarizing, magnified situation, CM Punk. I hope you guys are keeping track. It absolutely could be a work. And again, there's a report saying that some people were privy to it and Seth was just playing it up. If so, brilliant on a large scale. On a larger scale than that large scale, you have to also question why everybody was just chilling after you went to war for one common denominating enemy, CM Punk. You see what I'm saying? Again, if you guys didn't see the video and all that from the fans afterwards in Chicago, it's probably a cloudy, distorted image that I'm portraying, but that's what happened. They were all kind of hanging out at ringside. They weren't even acting like they were down and out. Like the referees tell the heels, act like you're just knocked out for 30 minutes. No, everybody was standing up and they were all just kind of looking over at Punk. Again, a lot of them flipping him off, pissed off. Very, very odd, man. But those are good questions to have. If you're some of the roster and you're not happy with it, then it's not good questions. But for fans, it's very intriguing. But just be very wary, man, because if we learned anything, PC included, listen, we don't know until we know. All right, so let's everybody just, because what's happening is everybody's seeing every little report and they're just reciting it, right? And then 20 minutes later, another report contradicts that one and we're reciting it. Relax. There's so much that are just, it's all contradicting. Let's wait. Let's find out. What we do believe to be true is a report that came out 6 minutes before I started recording this. CM Punk will be Monday Night Raw branded. Monday Night Raw. Now, that shouldn't come as too much of a shock for those of you that follow this channel on a regular basis. I told you guys, Punk comes back, it's Monday Night Raw, because Nick Khan, the CEO of WWE, and he's handling all those big TV rights deals, he wants his asking price to be met for Monday Night Raw. They have a new deal coming up. Well, if you just got CM Punk, the hope is that that's going to tip the scale closer to what Nick Khan is asking. Because for his SmackDown deal, while USA Network, NBC Universal, Comcast paid Nick Khan a ton of money, they still fell short $40 million a year for 5 years. That's $200 million left on the table. And that sent the stock into a frenzy, right? A panic. and it actually dropped that stock instantly. To this day, it hasn't recovered. So they don't want the same thing to happen for Raw. They'll see a sizable uptick in revenue intake, but they will not meet, or they will not have the asking price met. That obviously will send them $100 to $200 million bare minimum below the asking price, and that will once again send the stock market into a frenzy, into a panic, and then you might lower back into the 60, 70 points. You don't want that to happen if you're Nick Khan. So this is massive, and this is why I say Nick Khan most likely facilitated the entire operation to get Punk. You got to give kudos over to Paul Levesque McMahon, Vincent Kennedy, whoever had any say in this, the final approval, because they all made it happen. And that's another report, by the way. Vince had no decision in this at all. Nobody knows that. How can you possibly report that? You don't think for 1 second Nick Khan and Paul Levesque McMahon said, oh yeah, Vince, by the way, we're bringing CM Punk back at your Survivor Series event. You don't think that was ever just brought up to Vince and Kennedy? You know, they had fun. They said Endeavor found out live with all of us. And I believe that to be true. I don't think Endeavor really was privy to that. Probably felt they didn't need to be privy to it. But if you think that the son-in-law himself, right? What does CM Punk call him? The doofus son-in-law? If you think that Levesque McMahon didn't tell, and Nick Khan didn't tell Vince McMahon as a heads up even, right? Get kind of the blessing of Vince and Kennedy. Come on, you know they did. So those reports just always make BC laugh. But it's one of those things, guys, where he's going to be on Monday Night Raw. He could show up on both brands up front because there is no real brand split. You see Cody Rhodes going over to SmackDown for no reason, out of the blue. People switch all the time. They don't really honor it. Not even with Nick Aldis heading the blue brand and Adam Pearce solely on the red brand. Unfortunately, they don't honor it. And Becky Lynch just going into a SmackDown Women's War Games match Saturday night. That made no sense, but so you could see that. But he's going to be predominantly Monday Night Raw. They're going to want to get the highest value for their new Monday Night Raw TV rights deal. Does this make the USA Network go, okay, we'll give you $20 million more per year. How's that? $100 million is a lot of money. You might fall short of $100 million, but man, one dude just may have gotten you $100 million more. Who knows? It's possible. Or another network or streaming service. Amazon says, hold on, we want a piece of that pie. We'll give you $150 more. Interesting, man. Very interesting. You guys see what I said it wasn't going to be Punk heavy. There's so much. I've said I'm going to put a bow on it, but there's so much to get to, man. This is a massive story, guys. So, you know, I want to apologize for talking so much about it, but there's so much that we have to discuss still. And this is it's only the second upload where we've actually cut because we were live for the reaction when Punk came back last night, but we didn't really talk about it in depth. And then earlier we just put up a 20-some-odd minute upload of just news that we were hearing, updates, and kind of initial thoughts upon waking up and still trying to comprehend. So I guess it's not too much content from this channel about Punk and his return. It's only the second upload, but I really don't want to make it all about him. But I will say this last thing, and then we'll move on to the big topic at hand. Matt Riddle, he said he sent out right after CM Punk returned to WWE. Right afterwards, he sent out a post saying, "Good luck, WWE. You thought I was hard to deal with," and he actually put in CM Punk's. It was, of all the timing, man. He said, "Good luck, WWE. You thought I was hard to deal with." Now, that does two things. First of all, man, you know that's a big story. Let CM Punk have his shine for a moment. But okay, they have a little bit of a rift. Cool. But on top of that, it doesn't help your standing with WWE. This is a big moment for WWE, and you're basically just taking it upon yourself to shit on the moment. If you did want to go back, that's probably not the way, and I'm not saying kiss ass, trust me, but man, that's the kind of stuff that they'll look at and go, damn, man, that was your chance to just be better, get more mature, and maybe we'll bring you back. But you take a moment like that we're all proud of and took a lot of secrecy and a lot to make this deal possible, and you totally shit on it. I don't know how that's going to help Matt Riddle, but You may look at it as Matt Riddle was just being honest, doesn't like Punk, still pissed off at WWE, and he told you his thoughts. I guess you could look at it as that too, man. But that was very interesting. Kenta just said, I hope he finds a new finishing move so that I can steal that and name it my own. So Kenta take another jab over at Punk as well. All right, that's what I got. I mean, there's probably 100 other stories that I could talk about that are contradicting one another. But just, guys, everything you hear about the Punk situation, look at where it's coming from. See if you can fact check it. See if it is reputable, or does it just seem like it's like that's just information that nobody would know? Because trust me, I'm trying to tap into my people down in Florida, and understandably, they're reluctant to give me anything at this point because they were hearing the same thing everybody else was. There was no way Punk's showing up. And then last minute, it really is. I believe Paul Levesque McMahon on this. They kept that secret. Nobody knew. AJ Mendez, obviously, most likely. AJ Lee, Nicholas Khan, I believe Vincent Kennedy, and maybe a couple other people. Maybe Punk told a close confidant, not just AJ. Interesting. But now to the topic at hand, all right? Now for the focal point. Thank you for letting me get that out, man. We're not going to talk a lot about Punk 20-some-odd minutes later. But it does lead to a bigger possible issue and problem right now in WWE. And it's a good problem to have if it is a problem. That's why the question is this a bad thing? Or is this a good issue? Too many faces in WWE. What am I talking about? BC, is there really that many? Well, maybe we'll do a cool little thumbnail and you guys can see. Maybe I'll do that and you guys can just see just a bunch of them in one photo. But off the top of my dome piece, guys, Cody Rhodes, CM Punk, LA Knight, Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, Jey Uso. Am I missing anybody? I'm probably missing a face or two. Sami Zayn, did I say Sami? Guys, they're all right now. And this isn't like back in the day when you had like Hulk Hogan and Ultimate Warrior, and maybe Roddy Piper was a third. If Macho Man turned face, maybe he would be the third, and then you have Roddy, and then because trust me, they were loaded with larger than life stars back in the day. So I'm not trying to compare these wrestlers to that. They were larger than life. We're hoping that some of these top faces become that. I don't know if they have the it factor to do such. We'll hope for the best. But they're definitely top faces. And aside from just being fed to Roman, there has to be more for them, right? Kevin Owens fed to Roman. Sami Zayn fed to Roman. LA Knight fed to Roman. Jason Uso fed to Roman. I mean, most of these faces, Cody Rhodes fed to Roman. CM Punk might be the only one that has not yet been fed to Roman. But there has to be more for them, right? I mean, these are top faces, and they're Raw heavy, if you noticed. I think SmackDown only has like two of them, Kevin Owens, LA Knight. Because if you think of Sami Zayn, Yeet, Jey Uso, Cody Rhodes, now CM Punk, Seth Rollins, that's who I forgot. How did I forget? He's the champion. I named a bunch of faces. I forgot even Seth. I said Cody Rhodes, CM Punk, Jey Uso, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, and I forgot all about Seth Rollins, LA Knight. Okay, so you have on Monday Night Raw, Sami Zayn, my bad. Sami Zayn, Jey Uso, Cody Rhodes, Seth Rollins, and now CM Punk. All right, I got it. See, when it starts to become confusing, that's how you know you got a lot of baby faces, and these aren't just mid-carders. These are top-tier main event players. And Raw has it heavy. Again, over on SmackDown, you got a couple now, too. LA Knight, Kevin Owens. So you got to believe one of them has to go over there, right? Which one? Jey Uso maybe makes the most sense. You can start something back up with his brother, his twin, Jimmy Uso. So I guess that would make sense in the near future. Who? Seth Rollins, no, he's got the championship, so you can't have him because Roman's got his title over there, so it can't be Seth. Cody Rhodes, actually. That would set up the Roman thing. So then would you have Cody Rhodes win the Rumble, and then he just chooses Roman Reigns, and then we try to redo 39 again in Philly at 40. if The Rock doesn't want to go against Roman. Hope you guys are keeping track. So I guess Cody would make the most sense if you're going to do Cody versus Roman. So that would be massive. So then Cody, LA Knight, and Kevin Owens. And then on Raw, you would have Sethington, CM Punk, Sami Zayn, and Jey Uso. The point is here, guys, that's a lot of top faces, and you got to be careful because I know you say, well, BC, that's obviously not that's a good thing, but you're going to get lost in the shuffle, and you will lose any momentum that you have. You'll lose that top-tier status, right? I mean, we've seen Kofi Mania flaming so bright, and then it seemed like in a snap of a finger, blink of an eye, drop of a hat, Kofi Mania was gone. And Saturday night, he's riding up in a Slim Jim mobile trying to push Slim Jims on the audience. That's a shame because, man, Kofi Mania was fun. But we've seen these kind of flash in the pans, and that's what people, storyline-wise, like Paul Heyman and so many others, they just call LA Knight a flash in the pan. But not so fast. I mean, if you watched Friday Night SmackDown, even though he was not a part of Survivor Series, on Friday night, he was the loudest reception on SmackDown. Loudest. And it's a shame because he got one of the best pops at WrestleMania, and he wasn't even a part of WrestleMania. He was part of the Friday Night Battle Royal beforehand. He was the loudest reception. You guys are seeing a common denominator here, a common theme. The loudest reception is usually LA Knight on his shows. But he's easily going to be overshadowed, right? He was already fed to Roman. 2 weeks of build on a Saturday afternoon premium live event. Fed to Roman, and then he's just kind of in this thing with Grayson Waller and Austin Theory now. And the only shining light for him, I guess, would be Logan Paul at WrestleMania. That is a massive drop of a consolation prize. You're going for the heavyweight championship in Roman. You can't get the job done. So you go for the title that Austin Theory has already held 4 times last year. The same guy that you're in this mix-up with now. I don't know, man. That's LA Knight is just one example, guys. Jey Uso, I truly believe they're already lost with, especially if they take the gimmick that he had, they give it to CM Punk. It's locker room versus CM Punk storyline-wise. Well, you can't do that with Jey anymore. Jey and the whole Raw locker room has friction because that's how they started Jey with. Seth Rollins. If you do this thing with Punk, which you have to do now, you have to believe that this is where they're going to go. Punk versus Seth Rollins. Heavyweight Championship, WrestleMania 40. Punk possibly is the one to dethrone Rollins. Will Rollins do the job to Punk? You know, that was a real thing, a real friction, real comments by Seth Rollins, how he felt about Punk, calling him a cancer in the wrestling world. I mean, those are powerful words. People just don't. You know, Punk's not just going to forget that, but Seth Rollins is most likely going to stand by those words. So, on top of that, does Seth Rollins do the job? I mean, he's always been good with that professionalism. But on the grandest stage, when he's already put Cody Rhodes over at WrestleMania, he's done the job for so many. Does he just lay on his back for CM Punk? I don't know. That's a question. But you got to believe that that's where they're going to go with it, right? Punk versus Rollins, title on the line. That's the money. That's the money. That's the tipping scale. The storyline, man, if you're going to get any extra revenue, if Nick Khan is going to get more revenue out of Monday Night Raw, man, that's the way to do it, Punk, Rollins. And my point with that is, I always say, man, too many face versus faces matches these days, right? Paul Levesque McMahon loves the mutual respect era. Wrestler A versus Wrestler B. Shake hands afterwards. Too much of that lately, though. So does Rollins turn heel? He's the easiest that could do such. If you take away the sing-along, Seth Rollins' character is geared toward heel. He could even tap back into the Joker style of it. And he would have to play more heel than Punk, correct? Or do you guys have Punk go heel almost instantly? Keep Seth face, and then the story really heats up. But the point is, somebody has to go heel, right? Somebody's got to go to SmackDown, first of all. We believe it to now be, the more we talk about it, Cody Rhodes, I guess, would make the most sense if you're going to do Cody versus Roman. So one person has to go to SmackDown. You have too many faces, and it's Raw heavy. And then somebody still has to turn heel, top face, on Raw. Sethington or CM Punk looks to be the greatest options. I don't see Sami Zayn playing that role. We already did that. He was great at it, but that's what put him as a face. He's loved. You give him a good story, Sami Zayn's going to knock it out of the park every single time. And Jey Uso, I just don't see him going heel anytime soon. He already did the bloodline thing. If he goes heel, he's got to hook up, link back up with the bloodline, and you got to be careful how you do that. You got to make it realistic, and you got to make it fun. And just have him go and doing that in the next several months, no, that doesn't make sense. It's Punk or Rollins that has to turn heel if they're going to do this. Whether they're going to have a match or not, one of them has to be the heel going forward. Rollins kind of already planted those seeds, man. The middle finger, swearing profanities, knowing he's being videotaped. Everybody's already saying, whether it's a storyline or not, oh, he's throwing a temper tantrum. How dare you? This is going to be better business for you. Put on your big boy pants. So he's already getting heat. Maybe run with it. But WWE clearly has a babyface. Is it a problem? Issue. It's an issue. Is it a problem or is this a good issue? Is this a good thing? There's a lot of baby faces. Again, if they were just mid-carders, right? Fine. This isn't Dragon Lee. This isn't Cameron Grimes. It's not a Bronson Reed or a Tommaso Ciampa. These are main event players, and they're all faces. In fact, who's the heels, guys? If you think about it, it's just Judgment Day, and we really just lump them up as one, right? That's why Raw has become so boring for so long. It's just because you just take any member of the Judgment Day, or 2 or 3 six-man tags, and you put them up with a bunch of the faces. So that's why it feels like you're seeing the same matches every single week on Raw, because they're just kind of taking some puzzle pieces and mixing them around. So the Judgment Day, I'm cool with them as a group. I really like them. I just want it to be more fun. You got to do more than just whoever's feuding with one of the Judgment Day. You have to face every single Judgment Day member every week, then a tag team match, then a triple threat, or I'm sorry, 6-man tag. 3 members of Judgment Day and 3 faces. And then you just repeat the process. For instance, Sami Zayn has been facing the Judgment Day the entire year. Cody Rhodes is basically right behind him. So Judgment Day, I guess, is the biggest heels, right? Who else? I don't... Gunther. But he's solidified in the mid-card, as he should be. I mean, it's a build that is slowly but surely making everybody go, I know Roman's title reign is the big one, but look at Gunther's title reign. I mean, this guy's a monster. This title reign is one of the best we've ever seen. Gunther is on his way to main event stature. Is it his time to go to that next level? Does he have to lose the IC title first? Or can he be main event material with the IC title? More questions, I know. Guys, it's fun, though, you know? I mean, that's why, last night, it just reinvigorated so much of what a pro wrestling fan is, even within BC. So, these are those uploads that I cut that I'm just rambling because these are thoughts and questions that are just, as I comprehend this, I'm just spewing it because it's the first thing I'm thinking of. And what better place to talk pro wrestling than on my mainly pro wrestling channel, my Packers as well. There'll be other sports being added within the next several years, but predominantly pro wrestling channel. This is the place to ask those questions and to have these discussions. Can Gunther be the guy now? Because who else? Judgment Day, Gunther. That's all Raw, by the way. What's SmackDown have? Who's Roman Reigns Roman Reigns, but he doesn't show up. Barely. And good for him. He's got the contract. Great, but he doesn't really show up. So, Solo Sikoa, as much as it was awesome what John Cena did for him, and he's on his rise, no doubt, he's still a long way to go before he's going to be selling out arenas as a heel, because heels can absolutely help in doing such with the top baby faces. A top babyface needs a damn good heel to work with. Solo is on his way to that. He's not the top guy, easily, no. So if you don't have Roman, who do you have? Is it just Solo? Because Grayson Waller and Austin Theory are solidified mid-card, almost jobbers every week. 50-50 booked, bare minimum. Interesting. Brock Lesnar is gone again. Maybe he'll come back one day. We don't ever know if he's going to show up with a cowboy hat and a smile and be a face, or if he's going to come back and break somebody's arm and flip the crowd off. We never know what we're going to get with Brock. So my point is, you don't really have top heels that you can really do a lot with these baby faces. Interesting conversation. Thanks for having this talk with BC, man. It opens up so much more conversation. But listen, this was not supposed to go an hour, and I hope that it doesn't. So I'm going to wind it down there, man. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this upload. Listen, I had time. I had a lot of questions and a lot of talking points that I wanted to discuss with you guys. So I said, you know what? Even though we've pushed out a lot of content over the last 24 hours, I said, let's talk more wrestling. Because maybe it's just excitement. Maybe this is what happened last night. Maybe it just rejuvenated. Just, man, the things we used to feel as fans. And just finally being excited and knowing that this is what pro wrestling should be all the time. It should always be exciting. We should always be getting surprises. We should always be having questions and conversations that pique our interest and we get enthusiastic about. Thank you guys, man. You guys are absolutely awesome. The last 24 hours, it has been one of the greatest 24 hours that we've had on this channel easily, man. The Survivor Series live stream, the love and appreciation, respect that you guys showed that stream. Hopefully you felt that right back to you. The upload earlier, which is already closing in on 8,000 more views, that was next level. And we just clinched 25,000 on the sub count. I'm more about quality over quantity, so I don't push that. But it's still really cool because we don't push the whole subscribe thing. Because we don't push it, that's what makes it more special. You know, when BC, I could go on another 10 minutes on that discussion, so this has already gone way longer than I had intended to. But I'm just really appreciative of everybody that on their own just said, dude, I'm going to rock with BC, and smash that subscription button. And I never had to ask. I never had to tell anybody, remind anybody, or ask. 25,000 people just said, I'm rocking with BC. And over time, I've had this channel over 5 years now, or making content over 5 years now. And we just built a little ECW type of a channel that just continues to grow slowly but surely. And I'm not going to change my ways. I'm not going to ask for subscriptions. I'm not going to remind people if they've subscribed. You know, if there's an issue with the tube, that's the only time I'll have to do that. Because then people have to make sure that they are. But no, I just want people to do it on their own if they think about it. And I know in today's world that doesn't really happen, right? It's on to the next. So people literally just forget. But no, I don't want to ask. I'm not going to remind if I don't have to. We're going to build this if you want. I want the best pro wrestling fans to form what I call the Amplify unit, from the red team to the gold team, the gold unit, the channel members, you know, and that's what we're building. So, you know, and when I don't upload on a schedule, I know that doesn't help at all, right? You have a lot of people in the community that wrestling gets over 3 hours on a Monday night and they go live 20 minutes later for 2 more hours. Who do you think's got that time? If you're a kid, maybe, but if you're an adult and you got 3 hours to watch wrestling, then you right afterwards, you're cutting a review for 2 hours. More power to you. Honestly, I'm not even throwing shade. More power to you. Some of us have a life. Some of us are doing way more stuff than just talking pro wrestling, as much as BC loves it. And I dedicate so much time to it because we created something so special. There's no way I'm watching 3 hours of Raw and then going live 2 hours afterwards. No, and unless this was like my sole job. It's just not. It's just not. I do a lot of other things, thankfully, and I'm grateful and thankful that I have the opportunity to do so many other things. But If this was like a sole job for me, I probably would have put my dome piece through a brick wall a long time ago because the product was so bad for so long. But, for people that do that, that sets a schedule, and then they ask for subscribers. Don't forget to subscribe. Hey, you got to subscribe to the channel for more content. No, that's not going to be BC. You're not going to get a set schedule. You're not, if I go live, you're probably going to find out 20 minutes before. That's just how we do it, man. We're rogue. We go against the system. We don't do anything that we're supposed to do to grow the channel. We do the opposite. And somehow 25,000 of you guys still said, I'm rocking with you, BC. So completely humbling, completely awesome. And you guys, I appreciate every single one of the 25,000 plus. So I guess the only thing to say, here's to the next 25,000. No matter how long it takes, here's to the next 25,000. If I had a fresh coffee, I would salute every single one of you. I downed it right before this upload, and it was my 12th of the day. So I got to relax for like an hour before I have my next one. I'm going overboard on the coffee. So I appreciate you guys very much, man. Here's to the next 25,000 for real. And it's about quality, not quantity. All right, for real. That's it for this upload. Until next time, and there will be that next time. Current status, current situation. We out. Check you. Peace.